Yo, chat, we are back with another tutorial. What is up, guys? Today I'm going to be sharing the sauce on how to create super aesthetic carousels for your Instagram feed. Now, I honestly was sleeping on Instagram carousels for a long time because I honestly thought if I posted them, it wouldn't do any sorts of numbers, but I was dead wrong. I got 22.9K views on my carousel. I'm by no means a professional on making sort of carousels, but for my first time, I absolutely crushed it. So I wanted to share the sauce with you guys. And if you guys want my exact Photoshop/carousel file, then link will be down in the description below. So go ahead and download it. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump straight into Adobe Photoshop. Again, project file will be down in the description below. So you guys can go ahead and follow along. Let's get started. So first things first, what you guys want to go ahead and do when you want to start off by making a carousel is getting the right canvas size. So go to new file, 1080p by 1350 right here. So width 1080. 1350 resolution, I just do 500. Honestly, really no rhyme or reason why. It just looks good, works for me. Hit create, and then we're gonna have our first sort of image or board. What we wanna go ahead and do is we wanna go to the Artboard tool, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and select this entire sort of artboard, hit the plus button, and we're gonna do this 8 to 10 times, depending on how many carousel slides that you actually want. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that like so. Okay, dope. So now that you guys have all of your sort of carousel slides, you guys can go into the first artboard and actually start working on it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and import a photo. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit Command O, sorry, I'm thinking about Premiere Pro. I'm just gonna upload a photo. So just like so, gonna copy it just like so, Command C, and then go to Artboard 1, select it, Command V, hit yes, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and resize this to where this I think looks good. I actually want it to be a little bit more sort of framed like this. To me, that looks pretty solid. Let's go ahead and just zoom in like so. But as you guys can see, I have these white edges, so I'm just gonna go ahead and select the outside like so, hold shift while I select this other side like that. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and do generative fill. And what this is gonna do is gonna generate a fill for the edges, so that way you can kind of expand on your actual frame. Now this is huge for getting proper framing when you're kind of changing the aspect ratio. There we go, we actually got a good generation just like this. There's a little bit of issues over here, but real quick before we solve those, I'm just gonna go ahead, shift, and I'm just gonna make these into one layer. So I'm just gonna convert it to a smart object like so. Now I'm gonna go to this tool, spot healing brush. I'm just gonna fix this spot right here, hit okay, erase the layer, it's fine. And honestly, just do that. And that looks good to me. Now let's go ahead and start adding our text for our carousel. Now, as you guys can see in the example, it's a very simple, clean text with a very clear hook. The way that I come up with my hooks is just essentially, what do I want to share with my audience? And then I go into ChatGPT and just ask ChatGPT, yo, what's a good hook that I could use for this sort of thing that I want to share with my audience, yada, yada. And the biggest thing with carousels is honestly the pre-production/planning of like the actual text and kind of the journey that you want to put your viewers on during those slides. It could be just like memes, it could be a photo dump, it could be an actual like story that you're telling. But yeah, anyways, that's more of the higher level stuff with carousels. I'm just kind of showing you guys the actual tactical information on how to do everything. We go to the text tool just like this, and then I'm just gonna type in building my dream. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and resize this. And then I'm gonna do another layer, gaming, and then I'm just gonna do gaming PC, just like that. And then let's go ahead and just play with the composition real quick of the actual text. Maybe I just want it like this. And honestly, yeah, I kind of do. I want a drop shadow. I'm gonna change the angle just like that. And honestly, that looks really clean because it kind of adds like this little like sort of drop shadow over the text below it, so it kind of adds some depth. To me, that looks really clean. So I'm just gonna go ahead and actually kind of lock that in. But I kind of don't like how it's kind of looking like placement wise. So maybe we'll just play with the placement if we want it centered. That's not terrible, it's not the worst. But honestly, I kind of actually do like this placement, but I want to add some extra sauce. And the way that I actually did that in some of my carousel posts is by adding depth. And the way I add depth is by duplicating the background layer and then selecting the subject. It's gonna go ahead and like key out your subject just like so, hit the mask button, and then drag it over your text like this. And as you can see, it kind of creates like that depth, and you guys could even take it a step further by like replicating that camera blur by adding blur to the text. So I'm just going to go ahead and select both of these text layers, right click. I'm going to go to convert to a smart object, and then I'm going to go to filter, blur, and then I'm going to do Gaussian blur. You guys could do lens blur. I'm going to do something like that. And to me, that looks freaking super, super clean. I actually really enjoy that. So it's building my dream gaming PC. Let's see if we can add something else to this. Honestly, I actually really like this. This is actually really clean. Maybe I'll do like on a budget or something like that. Like on a budget. I think that would be cool to add because a lot of people, you know, don't got hella money to just throw on a PC, and I didn't either. So I just built one on a budget. So maybe we could do, let's see, where's a good placement for this? Honestly, just gonna go ahead, throw it right here, but I kind of want to play with the perspective of this countertop. So I'm actually just gonna go ahead and hit Control T, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and hold Alt and maybe just like do something kind of like it lined up with the actual PC almost. Maybe something like that. I actually really like that. That looks clean actually. Wasn't really planning for that to look like that, but that looks pretty good. On a budget. And then let's see if we could take it a step further, like artistically, by changing the blend mode. So we're just gonna see which one looks good. I'm assuming that overlay will probably look pretty decent, or soft light looks pretty good. I actually like how like minimal that looks. And then let's try difference. Where's difference? Difference is pretty chill. Probably look cooler if I brought it up in some color. That's a little too much. Honestly, I think that looks pretty good. I like that, or I like the soft light. I can't really decide. I like the soft light. That looks pretty good. And then again, we could go ahead and add some blur to it. But honestly, since it's kind of in the foreground right here, it doesn't really need blur. So I'm just going to leave it. And honestly, this is looking really good right now. I do notice that the framing is a little bit off. Now with carousels, it is going to be just trial and error with just finding the right composition for what you're going for. And I think this would look better if this was probably up a little bit more, like more centered. And that looks really good. And again, we're just going to use the generative fill to just go ahead and fill in these little weird spots that don't have anything to them. So again, generative fill, and then we're going to wait for that to finish. Go ahead, drink your coffee or your energy drink, whatever it is you drink while you edit. And then that looks really clean. There we go. That's our first slide to the carousel. Now, the thing that's so cool about these is like you can just add unlimited layers of sauce, or you can keep them mad simple. Like this one, I would consider to be sort of medium tiered level of difficulty. We could elevate it by adding some texture, some grain, a color grade. So I'm going to show you guys how to actually do that as well. Let's go ahead and just start off with adding a color grade. Now this photo is already color graded, but we're just gonna go to the color lookup in the adjustments. I'm gonna load up my own LUT, Chris Season LUT. If you guys wanna go ahead and cop that, link will be down in the description below, or just hit the top right corner. Go ahead and check out my takeover editing shop. It's got gas products for short form content editors. So as you guys can see with the opacity, like at 100, it looks just crazy. Honestly, that doesn't look terrible though. I'm not gonna lie, but it's way too much. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and maybe bump it to about, let's just do 60. And something for newer editors is like, you're gonna see this and be like, maybe like, oh, 75 looks great. Or you might see like at 60 looks great. What you wanna do is sometimes when you're a newer editor, you think more is better, but really the real sauce is by doing like subtle sort of changes from, you know, the start, I guess. I don't know, like less is more, to be honest. So right here, I'm tempted to be like, this looks pretty fire, like super creative look, but I'm just gonna go ahead and just maybe bring it down to about like 45 to where it's not as noticeable. So that's not a noticeable change, but it adds a little bit of something. And just that little bit of sauce or that little bit of like creative touch goes a long way. Like this is the before, this is the after. That goes a long way as opposed to you just baking it, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to be doing that. So I'm just gonna go leave it at 45%. And then also the last step to add texture, like I did in my own carousel, is I actually really enjoyed doing the selecting all by holding down shift, selecting it, and then right clicking, going to convert into a smart object. And then you guys can go over here to filters, go to noise, add a noise. And then I've found for my images that 7 looks pretty good. You guys want to just add the right sort of level or amount of noise that looks good for your photos. Like this obviously is just disgusting, looks horrible. Like I think 7's like very chill. It just adds a little bit of texture. It's not doing too much. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at 7. Okay, dope. So that's actually how you guys do the carousels, but you guys just do that over the course over like 10 slides. And of course, pre-planning your scripts or pre-planning your copywriting is going to help you out so much with the direction of where everything's going. So I highly recommend you take a minute to actually figure that out. Maybe it's just writing on your notebook, asking ChatGPT, whatever it may be, and then actually going in, doing the actual creative work, which I love doing these. I actually might finish this carousel because this looks actually really good. But now it's time to actually export all of your boards. So how do you export all of your boards all at once? So the way that you guys do that is you guys want to go to the file, you guys want to go to export, go to artboards to files, and it's going to do exactly what it is. So you want to just browse. I'm just going to throw it on my desktop just like so. Hit open, and I'm just going to do carousel like that. I'm just going to go ahead and hit run. Make sure it's JPEG and set the quality to max 12. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and hit run. And then what it's gonna go ahead and do is it's gonna run all of these and actually export each board into its own photo. So you could just go ahead, airdrop it to your phone, Google Drive, and then just upload it to Instagram. Now that it's completed, let's go ahead and check it out on our desktop. I only did one photo. So you guys can see that the one photo is done just like that. And then everything else is all blank because we didn't finish those. And then there you guys go. That's literally my exact process on how to create carousels for Instagram. But again, if you guys want to go ahead and check the original project file, link will be down in the description below for you guys to go ahead and mess with. And also, if you're new here, then go ahead and check out this video on how to edit Instagram Reels with that clean and minimal style that's been trending. It's super freaking fire. I actually made my own preset pack for it, so you guys can go ahead and just cop it and get those results instantly in your own workflow. Anyways, guys, that's it for me today. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. Remember, guys, take action, take over. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.